everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, aka Fleurs, and today we are going to be making a fish and chip shop or a fish and chip restaurant, just so you guys who aren't British can relate a bit more. This is the area that I've set aside. It's quite close to my Able sisters and I thought that it was a nice area up here. Before we get into the build, guys, remember to like the video, especially if you've had fish and chips. If you've ever eaten fish and chips, I want you to like the video, okay? Just so you're a bit different, so you're a bit fun, just so I can see how many of you have had fish and chips. And also remember to subscribe if you're not already. So we have our hard hat on now. It's time to get building. I'm first of all going to start off, I'm going to use some simple panels for this build, which is out of my comfort zone yet again, but we'll see how it works. So I'm just going to lay out and try and figure out where I want the actual building to be. And then I'm going to put the restaurant out front and have some seating area. That's kind of my plan. In order to make the building that I want to make, I'm going to have some cliffs behind the simple panels. So that's what I'm doing here. It's a bit of trial and error, so apologies if that's frustrating for you, but I just need to figure out the best way for this to work. It's quite close to the back of the cliffs, so we've got some space, not a lot, and I'm just trying to figure out how I wanted it. I thought that I might want it with one side sticking out and then one side back, and I did like that idea, but I figured that it wouldn't work with how I'm going to do the roof, which you will see soon. And I'm going to put down some path just so that I can put my simple panels on top and it not look so obvious with the grass. So I'm putting down this dirt path. Don't worry, this is not the path that I'm going to use. I'm going to go over the top of it with the pebble path, which I used in a museum speed build. If you've seen that one, then you'll know what I'm referring to. If you've not, then go and check that out as well. For the roof there, you saw a sneak peek of what I'm going to try and use. It's the diner counter tables. I wanted to add some blue into the roof because all of the area around it is going to be quite white. It was a bit of a struggle trying to figure out how best to use them, especially because I've got such limited space. I realised afterwards, hindsight is a great thing, it really is. I realised afterwards that I would have been better off expanding out the cliff and then trying to put them down. So that's kind of a good tip for you guys. If you're going to try and do a simple panel building, make sure you have enough room for putting down your items that you want as your roof prior to trying to put them down. It makes it a lot quicker for you. So this is what I'm doing here. I put down some gravel there just to add in those details. You don't want to see grass coming through on your roof, so that's why I've put the pebbles down up there as well. I could have put them on top of the dirt as well so it colour matches, but if I'm honest, I quite like the idea that the sun has beaten down on it so it's a bit brighter colour. That's what I'm going with anyway, to make it a bit better in my head. Again, I'm still struggling. This is what I'm trying to achieve. This, and then I got stuck. Oh dear. But it was quite an easy fix. It may look a bit odd right now, but when you put the simple panels in front of it, you'll see what I was trying to achieve, and hopefully you'll like it. I did think about using the loft beds as the roof, but I thought I'm going to do something a bit different. I've done that before, and I did that in a simple panels video, how to make buildings with simple panels, which is also up on my channel if you haven't seen it, if you're interested in making some. And this one wasn't included, so here's another idea for you if you're a fan of making buildings with simple panels. I mean, I'm doing this one as a restaurant, but the world is your oyster. You could do so many different things with this. You could make it into a shop, another kind of restaurant, a subway maybe, like a restaurant, like a transport hub type thing. Yeah, there's just lots of things that you can do with this kind of idea, and obviously you can change it up to however you want it to be, whatever colours, find them simple custom design panel designs. That was a terrible way of explaining it, but you know what I mean. You can customize it, edit it to however you want it to be. Right now I'm just going to expand out the seating area. So I did think about having the front to be like pebbled, the paving area, and then have the wood plank, but I decided that I was going to stick with the pebbles throughout. As you can see, here are the doors that I'm using for my restaurant. They do remind me of what you would find in like a shop or something like that, and I thought they worked quite nicely with this build. I will put all the codes in the description for you as always, so remember, if you like any of these and you want to use them, then definitely look down in the description. I do try and put all credits in for all the creators. Unfortunately, some of the time you can't find them, but I do my best. I try. A barrel, you know, we're living our barrel core life, so we needed to include a barrel there. I just thought a little bit of storage, and the oil can fit quite nicely with the fish and chip shop idea, because, you know, fish and chips, as nice as they are, they're not the healthiest of things. There's a lot of oil that goes into them. As I said, I'm going to expand out this area so we've got some room for seats and people to sit and enjoy their fish and chips. I decided when I was doing my museum speed build, initially I didn't go in with the dirt path underneath and just went with the custom design, but using the in-game path underneath you get a much nicer finish. It's not such a straight edge, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, quite a lot longer, because you're essentially doing double the work, but I think it looks a lot better and I definitely prefer it this way. Also, it slightly changes the colour, which I quite like. If I did this over the light dirt path, then it would be slightly different, but I can't do that because of my in-game path that I'm using. I also did initially have the menu chalkboard down, but I found this really nice fish and chips custom design, so I wanted to include that as well. And then I'm just going to make a start on the seating area. For this, I've gone with something very out of the ordinary for me, and that's the blue box sofas. Yes, I use them to make my ship, but I don't think I've ever used them for seating. But I thought that they kind of help with that diner appearance, you know, when you've got little booths and things, so that's what I was going for. And then I also found this amazing fish and chip hat design online, which I really like, so I'm definitely going to be using that as my fish and chips. I knew I wanted to make a fish and chip shop, but I was a bit struggling with knowing what to use, what custom design, so I'm so glad that I found that. I know you don't have rice at a fish and chip shop, but it reminded me of a fryer, so that's why I've used the rice cooker here. And obviously we need lots of condiments, a lot of salt and vinegar, maybe some ketchup if you like ketchup with your fish and chips. So that's why I've used the revolving spice rack. I know with my fish and chips I don't mind some ketchup, maybe some curry sauce if I'm lucky. I'm not a gravy fan though with my fish and chips, that's just a bit weird for me. Let me know in the comments if you eat fish and chips regularly. What condiment do you like to have with yours? I'd be really interested because I feel like that there's probably a lot of options out there. Just mimicking the seating over here as I did on the right hand side. I don't know how I really have fallen in love with the natural garden tables or the square garden tables at the minute. They are really nice. And then I realised there's not really going to be enough room to walk past, so I've had to expand it out. Just one line. And then we should have plenty of room. apologise for all the path placement in this build. Normally I do try and do it prior to starting the build, but this time I just thought, nope, we'll leave it in, and apologies if it's a bit dull, but at least you can see kind of how it works in process and how it kind of can change and things. I decided to make this one like more of a booth, so I'm going to grab a corner piece later. I thought I would have had enough box sofas, but not quite. I should have grabbed some more. And then over here, I wanted it to be like the welcome area, the parking lot, so I'm just gonna put down a few mountain bikes. I ran out of the white ones, but thankfully in my mailbox I had some blue ones, so I do quite like the blue ones. I do prefer the white ones though, but they will do for now. So it's coming along quite nicely now. Just need to grab a few more items to finish off the seating area. Here's that box corner sofa that I was talking about, just to finish that off. I decided to expand it out a bit because I had a spare box sofa, and then I was looking at the tables and I was like, I much prefer them rotated this way. I think the lines on the wood aren't so obvious, and so I decided to rotate all of the tables. It's just a really tiny little detail, but I just felt like it made a bit of a difference. They look just a tad more weathered. So now, because we've expanded it out, I've got plenty of room to put some more chairs in. I did think about just leaving it with one side without chairs, but I thought that would look a bit strange. And just a nice little romantic table over here for two, a little date table. And then we have it, our seating area is done. Just time for some more little finishing details. I thought we needed something over here, so just trying to find some items. I did grab a fish drying rack and another barrel. I thought the cooler box was slightly better than the cardboard box. It just helped tie in the blue a bit more. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of this cliff. It's a bit of an awkward amount of space left now, but maybe just like a natural seating area would work nicely, a little bit of a garden. So it's coming along nicely. I'm just going to expand out this path a bit just so you can see. I'm not going to do the overlay of the custom design on the in-game path in this build, just because I feel like you've seen it all before and you know what it's going to look like. There's a sneak peek over to the left, and also it takes quite a bit of time, so just try and keep it as condensed as possible for you. And the main thing that we're here to celebrate is the fish and chip shop itself. Just going to work on this little area, get some flowers and things, and then I think we're pretty much almost done. I think so. Grab some more flowers and some trees. As normal, just mixing up between the blue and the white, some bushes. Do need to start using some more kind of log stakes and things in these sorts of areas. But for now, I think that it looks alright with just the blue and the white flowers. Just gonna pop tree here as well. I will come back and finish that all off at a later date. So here we are. Apologies for the cloudy grey weather. Typical British weather, I would say. But here it is. Here is the finished product. We have our restaurant. So lots of seating with some relevant items placed down, some fish and chips, that hat design, I still love it. And then the simple panel building back here. So you can go in the shop, order your fish and chips, and then come and sit outside in the seating area. We've got some vending machines to get your drinks. Some mountain bike parking area over there. And then there's just some little details. I did add in the Festivali balloon, which I quite like. It's quite nice just floating up there, and add some more blue to it. So it changes up the height a little bit. I think this area would look quite nice at night as well. Yeah, so that's the end of the build, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Do you like it? Do you love fish and chips? I'm really interested to know. Remember, as I said before, like the video if you've ever eaten fish and chips. I want to know how many of you have. Obviously, like the video anyway if you haven't, but I would just be interested. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again soon with another video. Goodbye.